Hey, what's up, fellow Transformers fans? Welcome to this MP review. This is going to be focusing on Cliffjumper for the Masterpiece Collection. And if you've been following the developments, Fans Toys has recently come out with their Parkour, and a lot of people are very happy with that. It does hit all the aesthetics marks. If you're looking for the representation from the cartoon as far as the alt mode goes, it has that chibi, kind of squishy, malformed, kind of deformed look, rather. It also knocks it out in the bot mode. However, I am a realistic alt mode guy, and I don't like the toony, balloony kind of car modes that Bumblebee and Cliffjumper are shown to have in the cartoon. So, I always harken back to the fact that that cartoon was based on toys that already existed that were turned into the Transformers line. So it wasn't like the creators of Transformers were like, well, let's just make this car look kind of bubbly and kind of, deformed. They were obviously taking their cues from the toys. So in my mind, I didn't know that as a kid. And I saw the cars for what they were supposed to be, and that was cartoon representations of actual cars. And I had never seen an actual car look like that. So I'm telling you today about what I am choosing for my collection, and that is MMX Toro from x-transbots. Now, I've had this little guy for a while, but more recently, I'm not sure when this came out, but x-transbots reissued it, and that's this here, where it's supposed to have rubber tires instead of the plastic tires on the original. Now, I have other criticisms of this version of Cliffjumper for your MP collection from x-transbots, but overall, I like it the best out of the options I've seen. Now, over here, we have the Cliffjumper version from Ace called Tumbler. I'm not sure of the year that this dates back to, but this has been out for quite a long while, and it was the first Masterpiece Cliffjumper on the market. Did a little research and found that out recently. While it does look good in the pictures, and here's an image of it in its bot mode, and it does have a realistic alt mode like you can see here, it doesn't have the complete package that the x-transbots Toro has. So it doesn't have all of the same accessories. It's got some interesting alternate heads and faces. And I'm not sure why they have the different styles, but I guess it's probably comic book and IDW and cartoon, something like that. If you know and you want to let everybody else know, hit us all up in the comments below and share your knowledge. Now, I was interested in opening this guy up and seeing what it actually looks like in person, but I'm just going to keep it wrapped up in the plastic, and let's get it off the table here. Now, as to those criticisms I have of this little guy, I think his face sculpt looks pretty cool. I don't need it to look super toony, and I think it looks like a mature, well-crafted face. His color, you can't tell necessarily unless I show him next to another bot, but I will in a moment. But his red is more of kind of a hot pinkish red when you look at it compared to the official Sideswipe. So let's check that out real quick. It's not showing up as drastically on camera as it does to my eye in person, but trust me when I tell you that the red is just off. It's a little bit off. Maybe Sideswipe wasn't such a great comparison. Let me see if I can find something else. How about Red Alert? Now maybe you're seeing a little bit of the difference now that he's flanked by red from Takara Tomy, which should be pretty consistent, I would hope, anyway. But it definitely is a little bit off. Maybe a little more help. How about we put him up against Gears from Bad Cube? And you might be able to tell here that Bad Cube's red is even a slightly different red than Takara Tomy's. But you can definitely see the difference between it and MMX Toro from x-transbots. Now, to my eye, Bad Cube's red is definitely a darker red. So maybe that's part of it, is that MMX Toro just has a lighter red. But anyway, if you want to theorize about color, I guess we could do that, but I'll move on. Anyway, I don't really care for the shade of red that x-transbots used for their Cliffjumper here, but there are other things that are good that are going for it. Another negative thing about him is that he does have this huge backpack which back when I bought him, I didn't think a whole lot about, except that I did acknowledge that it was quite a backpack. But you do get a realistic alt mode out of this, and therefore I am okay with it. Plus, he just overall makes a nice pose, and he looks good doing it, The other thing that I'm not fond of are the blue windows. At the time, we hadn't gone to the hyper-toon look where we were trying to do anything that like the actual cartoon and anime style. So I wish this had been just a darker window, like a smoke gray window instead. But unfortunately, that's not what it was. So if they have reissued this guy now, and I would like it to have the smoked windows, but it's not going to. It's just going to have the wheels changed. But maybe I'll be surprised and I'll find out that there are some other changes. Let's take a look at the reissue. On the box, this doesn't seem to be very obvious that this is a reissue. As a matter of fact, I don't know that there's any difference. I don't have the other box to compare it to right here and now, but I do have it someplace. But as you can see, it doesn't say like, 2023 issue or 2022 issue. And this, Skids was so long ago that they did that I guess they didn't even change the box bottom. I thought maybe they'd have a different product photo here or something, but I guess not. And look at that, you can see it's not really saying anything about the year. So that's interesting. I guess they just wanted to get the product out there quickly, and so they didn't bother like doing some kind of box reprint. But there you go, you can see what the alt mode is supposed to look like, and that is a very sleek car. I like it. Let's open this puppy up. Got our collector's card and instruction manual. That's a cool schematic. Okay, here we go. Here are a bunch of accessories. Right off the bat, here's his accessory sled. So all these weapons. What was this? I guess this is like the big cannon he's going to use to take out Megatron, or try to take him out. These are the feet that are going to go on him in alt mode. Excuse me, skis, so that he can jet across the water. His normal. One of his guns anyway, and the other gun, like I have him holding right there, is here. And interestingly, let's see. Nope, looks like it's the same kind of treatment, just the gray accents in paint, I guess, or actually they're black accents in paint, and the gray plastic. Nothing different about that at all. He's got these two things, whatever they're for, I don't know. Here he is in his alt mode. And there you go, see that alt mode is looking slick. And oh my gosh, they did change it. He has black windows. I didn't know that he was gonna come like that. That is freaking awesome. Wow. Okay, I am really excited. I was under the impression, no, I actually read that he was going to have rubber tires. These are not rubber tires. So, whoa, what's up with that? That's not cool. I was really hoping for rubber tires. But I am really excited about the fact that he's got these black windows. That is awesome. Oh, and in case you were wondering, he does roll pretty well. All right, so the hydrofoils, that's worthy of taking a look at. Well, if you don't know, he does have a hydrofoil mode, and he can skim across the water. This is not the best hydrofoil mode. It is lacking the grill part that's supposed to show up as it does in the cartoon. It also can come off fairly easily because it doesn't really snap in. It has 4 little divots for the wheels. So it can sit on there and you can push it along pretty good, right? But if you're going to be jumping it and stuff, it might fall off. So see, I just pushed that a little bit with my finger and it fell off. So there you go, hydrofoil mode. It's just the bottom of that accessory sled that has the skis on it. And there you go, that's the accessory laser that's supposed to come out of the hood. In this case, it is a little add-on clip-on piece on the top. I had a little trouble with that because the divot for it is on a split line where the transformation occurs, so it's not a solid piece of plastic. Let me show you. Oh, there you go, it just fell off, but there you go. See, that's the little divot it sits in. So you might have a little bit of trouble getting that to stay there. I did. Now it seems to be all right. So there you go, hydrofoil mode. All right, and one thing that I discovered about a quality issue here is on the wheels. You have this nice, silver paint here, silver grayish paint on the rims. That looks really cool, but I didn't notice this before. 3 out of the 4 wheels are good, but this wheel did not get a complete paint job. So there you go. That's a bummer. I wish it was perfect, but it's not. That's part of the reissue copy I got. Regarding the rubber tire issue, as you can see here in this listing, this was supposed to come with rubber tires. As you can see here in this other listing, it also mentions the rubber tires. But as you can see in this listing, there was a confirmation yet to be had according to their description. So I think it really probably should have come with rubber tires. I did buy this from Big Bad Toy Store, and not that they're responsible for what's inside the packaging because they can't see it. But if that's what their product description was supposed to be and it doesn't have the rubber tires, then I'm going to need to contact them and ask them if it indeed was supposed to come with rubber tires or if that was a mistake. Anyway, I did not get the product as described from the product listing, so I will be contacting Big Bad Toy Store. So I'll get him transformed and we'll take a look at him in bot mode compared to the original. No! I was fooled. His alt mode has the smoked window, but his bot mode has the blue windows still. What a bummer. And here we have the reissue of MMX Toro coming from, I'm not sure which year, it was actually a reissue, 2022 or 2023, but a recent reissue. And there's not a whole lot of difference between these two. Get into that in a moment. Just wanted to give you a little heads up on some of the accessories here. The gun, I recommend, it's got some little tabs on it, little dot tabs, and it's kind of hard to get out, unlike some of the other guns. So I recommend, you heard that click there, that's because it is kind of clicked in there. So I recommend using a spudger to pop that gun out. Another note about some of the accessories. Take that gun out. You've got these two little, hood emplacements, little accessory things that you can put on him in alt mode. So like this one comes out, a little spray nozzle or whatever the heck it is, goes on the car. This one's supposed to be a little antenna, but this little antenna piece keeps, it popped off, and I've tried to put it back in, but I don't know if there's just too much paint on the peg here or what, but it just won't go back in. So I'm going to have to do some work to get that in there. As you can see, it's not really wanting to... It's just so loose in there, you know. Poor quality control on that part. Let's get him fitted with this gun here. So the tiny little dot there on the handle makes sense when you see that he's got a dot, not a slot, unlike other Masterpiece characters for the gun to go into. And it does tab in there pretty darn well. Close that fist on it. There we go. Something about his neck stock here was annoying. It wants to spin, the actual neck stock itself. I have to give it this proviso though. I did pop the neck stock off because I thought it was turned out around backwards, but I'm no engineer, so don't listen to me. So don't pop it off the peg, just leave it as is. If you're gonna turn it around, his head will just kind of freely spin more or less, and then you'll have a hard time getting that neck stock facing the correct direction. But you do want that neck stock to be facing frontward with that opening so that his head can tilt down. Otherwise, his head's not going to want to tilt down. You can see that peg there. His head won't tilt as far as it can. So if you turn this neck stock around, use the little faceplate as your fulcrum, tilt it down as far as it'll go so that it's hopefully hitting more like a square kind of surface. And then now turn the neck around, the head around. There's the peg in the back is like it should be. And his head will now tilt down quite far. So you can get that kind of brooding, serious look. And he also tilts up pretty well. So, and he has a little bit side to side. But again, if you're going to turn that neck, tilt that head all the way to his chest as much as you can, and then use that to pivot the neck piece. So, let me get this set. And there he is, the original with the re-release. Original on the right, and re-release on the left. The only noticeable difference that I saw between the two of them was the eyes. Now, the original has these lighter blue eyes, which I think reflect the light a lot better. And this new guy has a set of darker blue, less seemingly reflective eyes. So I like the original over the re-release. As far as the shades of red, to my eye, they look really, really, really the same. Detailing on the bumpers looks the same to my eye too. So you're not getting any more or less detail there. So this reissue, it's a disappointment for me because I was hoping for something a little bit different. The bot mode windows, they went more for a toon look and gave them the blue window tint. I really wish they had gone with the smoked window like they had in the alt mode. And it doesn't have the rubber tires. So that is a fail for this re-release as far as I'm concerned. So, not happy about that. But if you're not into Parkour from Fans Toys, or I didn't mention there's also an MMC version called Hellion, and if you're not into Ace's Tumbler, then here you go. X-transbots is the option for you. At least until there seems to be a strong possibility that a Takara Tomy version is coming out that's going to be very much like the MP45 Bumblebee, although it hasn't been confirmed that it is actually from Takara Tomy. So perhaps it's some really sophisticated third party. But if so, they're really horning in on Takara Tomy's design. All right, that's it for this episode. I still like this guy as my option for my Cliffjumper in my collection for my MPG1 version. And if you want to see the Cliffjumper from the TFP show, then that's Transformers Prime, excuse me. Then check that out in another review from someone else. There's been a couple releases, one from AC Toys and one from APC Toys. Seemingly, well, not sure, but they might be two separate companies. I'm wondering if they're the same and they just are doing a higher level one and a lower level one. I don't know. But if you're interested in that, check out somebody's review on that. Maybe I'll have a review on that sometime soon. I did get both versions, and it would be fun to compare those two. Just to see which one I really think is better. All right, that's it for this review. If you've enjoyed this video and you enjoy this kind of video about Masterpiece Transformers or other Transformers, I talk about Transformers Prime as well, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell as well, and drop a comment in the comments below and join in the conversation. I'm Mike, your host, and until next time, happy collecting, everybody.